We are tracking multiple fires across the region, keeping firefighters busy this afternoon and into the evening.
That's right, and we've been looking at hot conditions. We've got red flag warnings in place and high wind advisories. I'll get to all of that in the first alert weather forecast.
Plus, we are finally getting a look at just how much money local governments will be getting as part of a national opioid crisis settlement. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Alyssa Warner. We begin with an update on the fire that you saw as breaking news here on KAPP KVEW before the game. A brush fire southwest of Mabton burned around 1,200 acres this afternoon, according to Yakima County Fire District 5. Crews from all over Yakima County raced to try and get these flames under control. It's not clear yet tonight how this fire started. And in Benton County, the first 911 calls about a fire between Kennewick and Findlay started coming in around 3:30 this afternoon. Fire crews arrived to find flames along the train tracks near State Route 397. Benton County Fire District 1 posted that the flames got dangerously close to several homes, and the sheriff's office did have to evacuate some of them. We're told the heat damaged one home. Fire officials say that BNSF responded with a fire train that passed through the burned area, helping put out hot spots. But of course, this is all happening as we're getting into kind of the hottest, driest time of the year.
Yes, fire danger very elevated, and there has been a red flag issued, warning issued today by the National Weather Service. So we're keeping an eye on that. On top of that, gusty winds are also headed our way, Alyssa. So again, fire danger remains really, really high.
So we're talking about your forecast then tonight is we're getting into that wind advisory you were talking about?
Wind advisory and the red flag advisory. Again, we can go ahead and take a look at our screen there. That's a look outside. Beautiful evening, by the way. It turned out to be pretty nice outside. But again, tracking the active weather. There's your red flag warning all through the area, eastern Washington, from Yakima to Walla Walla, all the way down the Columbia River Gorge. And add on to that our breezy and gusty winds. Tomorrow we could see winds gusting between 50 and 55 miles an hour. So any fires that do start would spread rapidly. It would be difficult for firefighters out there. So again, we want to be fire-wise going forward for the next 48 hours. Temperatures around the area still in the warm zone. We're at 92 right now in the Tri-Cities, 88 in Yakima. Again, clear and warm, isolated thunderstorms in the blues. Those are starting to taper off tonight. Dry and windy tomorrow. I'll get to all of that in the first alert weather forecast.
Thanks, Stacey. And some of that smoke in the air today came from this. Firefighters got serious training at the Tri-Cities Airport in Pasco. City of Pasco firefighters will spend the week doing live fire exercises. We know some other agencies are joining in on this. The agency posted this picture on their Facebook page saying the training includes props that simulate an aircraft fire. And again, those exercises take place through Friday. We have new information tonight about a deadly interaction between law enforcement officers and a 31-year-old man near Columbia Center Mall earlier this month. A new report from the Special Investigation Unit says Richland police started chasing a stolen vehicle on the evening of June 4th. Investigators say that chase continued for about 30 minutes, ending up in Kennewick, with the driver allegedly cutting through a parking lot, then driving the wrong way on Columbia Center Boulevard. Investigators say he crashed, ran, and tried to take another car at gunpoint, which is when a Benton County Sheriff's deputy shot him. That suspect died in the hospital. And a weekend shooting that turned deadly is now under investigation by the Benton County Sheriff's Office. Just after midnight Friday, deputies say a fight at a party on North Willard Avenue ended in gunfire that injured 6 people. One person later died. One had to be hospitalized. The Sheriff's Office says 4 of those victims have non-life-threatening injuries. Anybody with information about what happened should contact the Sheriff's Office or call the non-emergency line. The number to do that is 509-628-0333. Washington Attorney General Bob Ferguson says 4 companies whose pharmacies contributed to the opioid crisis will pay the state of Washington $371 million as part of a national settlement. KAPP KVEW's Emily Goodell talked to Ferguson about what that means for the state and to a Yakima County commissioner about what they plan to do with that money.
When a pharmacist comes across a prescription that doesn't look quite right, they're legally required to flag it for investigation and not fill it.
CVS, Walgreens, Teva, and Allergan. What these companies did was violate Washington state law in seeking greater profits.
Years of not flagging prescriptions or filling ones that have been red flagged anyways.
distributing opioids, where it should have been clear that these were not legitimate orders, right? That these were far exceeding whatever rational need for opioids might be in a given community.
Failing to be the last line of defense to prevent people addicted to pain pills or drug dealers from getting a hold of more drugs.
And that's why we filed a lawsuit against them, and that is certainly why they ultimately agreed to settle this for hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yakima County set to get $10.9 million in payments from those companies to help address the opioid crisis at the local level, potentially through expanding treatment options, wraparound services like housing and food assistance, and peer-to-peer support programs.
The reason why it's impactful is because you're talking with someone who maybe isn't a therapist, but someone who's actually been in your shoes. Sometimes people feel a little more comfortable talking to someone who's actually been in that situation themselves.
Commissioners say having the money spread out over 15 years will give them a steady source of funding to help support opioid treatment programs in the long term and switch gears if it's not working.
That we can pivot in manners that are going to follow the best practices and best science so that we can help people truly really have a life restored fully.
The funding for Yakima County will be split between the county and the cities of Grandview, Sunnyside, and Yakima, which should be getting the first payment by the end of the year. Reporting, Emily Goodell, KAPP Local News.
Now, in addition to the $371 million payout to Washington State, Allergan had to stop selling opioids for a decade. Teva can't market opioids at all, and CVS and Walgreens will have to tightly monitor opioid prescriptions. Over the weekend, Washington Senator Maria Cantwell heard from agriculture leaders across the state as Congress is preparing to reauthorize the Farm Bill. The Farm Bill regulates policy and funding for agriculture, food assistance, and natural resources, and it comes up for a vote every 5 years. Cantwell says she wanted to hear about potential changes that would help Washington growers before the current Farm Bill expires in September. An upgrade and remodel is coming to the Juvenile Justice Center facility that serves Benton and Franklin counties, and this is something that's been discussed for quite a while. The county is hoping for construction to start officially next May. They haven't given word on how long this project might take once it gets started. But the Juvenile Justice Center has only gotten one renovation since it was originally built in 1978. And that last renovation took place more than 25 years ago. Robert Blaine is the Director of Operations and Capital Programs. He says the project has been kicked around for quite a while. He says back in 2015, some initial ideas floated by, but it's only been a reality for the past year and a half.
In April of 2022, we went to the project review committee at the state level to get authorization to use the progressive design process. And so with that process, it's not like a normal bidding operation where we take the low bid. This gives us opportunity to really work with a design build team and get them on board early through the design process and get the best result and also the most efficiency for our dollars.
There are changes to how the Juvenile Justice Center operates. Those have also required some alterations. They've been using a progressive design build, which Blaine says will give the Juvenile Justice Center the best result. And as these changes start to get underway starting next year, we will have all the details for you right here on KAPP Local News. But for right now, let's take a look outside. We are seeing some beautiful sunset this evening from our Legends Casino camera in Toppenish. We're talking about some fire danger coming up tomorrow. And still ahead on this special edition of KAPP Local News, former President Donald Trump due in federal court to face dozens of criminal charges. We're looking ahead to that hearing next.
KFC's Wednesday Country Fried Steak Meal is a delicious value, complete with mashed potatoes with gravy, coleslaw, and a biscuit, all for the incredible price of just $5.99. Really, what's left to say? How about see you again next Wednesday? Country Fried Steak Meal just $5.99, only at KFC.
Build your deck with PAR and get everyday low prices on Trex and TimberTech composite decking. But shop now and you'll get $100 off TimberTech, Trex, and AZEK railing and accessories with qualifying purchase. Visit par.com for details.
What are you going to build?
Many people who deserve Social Security disability and workers' compensation benefits are denied.
If you were denied, you want an experienced attorney's personal attention.
I personally handle each workers' comp case.
And I personally handle each Social Security disability case.
If you can't work, let us go to work to get you benefits.
Call toll-free 1-888-665-8630. Bothwell and Hamill.
With K2 Vision RLE, you can throw away your distance and reading glasses. Plus, you'll never develop a cataract. Schedule a free Zoom consultation with us today. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers.
From KAPP KVEW, this is Medically Speaking.
My name is Lauren Martin. I started to work out at Hanford in 1982, and for 20 years I worked with the fleet. Repairing cranes, locomotives, cars, ambulances, fire trucks, everything. After 20 years, then I came down with a disease, and my doctors in Spokane strongly encouraged me to change careers. It's just amazing. Just recently I had a need for a walker. Right there it was. If I need any supplies, they're there for me. All I have to do is pick up the phone and it's there.
So we'll definitely evaluate their past employment. As a registered nurse myself, I'll look through their medical records and I'll look to see maybe what medical conditions they have, and we'll be very upfront with them, honest about whether they do have a claim that could warrant benefits or not.
Alien tape is strong enough to hold this fishbowl on a moving car. Just peel and stick and make anything stay in place quick. A wooden shelf, a basket to glass, rugs to the floor, and so much more. Alien tape sticks to brick, pavers, marble, tile, plastic, even leather. Nothing works better. Alien tape secures in seconds, then twist, pull, and rinse to reuse. You're dying to try it. Here's your chance to buy it.
Call 1-800-284-4157 or go to tryalientape.com. That's 1-800-284-4157.
The Centers for Disease Control say that 14.9% of American men 18 plus are in fair or poor health. Find out more about men's health now at yaktrynews.com.
Sponsored by Prosser Memorial Health. Learn more at prosserhealth.org. This is how we care.
I remember when you get a whole meal for $5.
Yeah, it was last Tuesday.
Oh.
And every Tuesday at A&W, where single Papa Burger combos complete with fries and a root beer cost just $5. The good old days are here again. A complete meal for just $5. Tuesdays only at A&W.
Matt Frazier, America's top psychic medium.
Welcome back. We are tracking developing news tonight. Former President Trump is in Florida preparing to face criminal charges in a federal courtroom tomorrow. He's facing dozens of charges that could mean decades in prison if convicted. ABC's Rena Roy has a look at what to expect from tomorrow's hearing.
Former President Trump officially touching down in Miami as he prepares to be arrested Tuesday before facing a judge on serious federal criminal charges. Local police joining forces with the Secret Service and U.S. Marshals, tightening security around the courthouse downtown for his arraignment. If convicted, Trump could potentially face decades in prison for allegedly mishandling national defense documents.
These are our most sensitive secrets, and when our most sensitive secrets fall into the wrong hands, and we don't know that they have, but there was potential, the consequences are very grave. People end up dying.
The charges include conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and the willful retention of national defense secrets. This all began back in 2021, Trump haggling with the National Archives for months when it became increasingly clear he had taken a significant number of highly classified government records upon leaving the White House. In 2022, he did return 15 boxes. That's when prosecutors say archive officials found a significant number of sensitive documents involving spies, America's nuclear defense and weapons capabilities, and U.S. surveillance programs. Shortly after the FBI and Justice Department getting involved, a grand jury subpoena ordering Trump to return dozens of additional boxes of classified documents that were stored at his Mar-a-Lago residence. In the indictment, prosecutors allege Trump knowingly misled his attorneys and the FBI in an effort to hold on to the documents despite that subpoena. Notes from one of Trump's attorneys obtained by prosecutors reveal Trump allegedly said, "What happens if we just don't respond at all or don't play ball with them?" Trump has remained defiant throughout all of this on the campaign trail this weekend, denying any wrongdoing, saying that he will not drop out of the presidential race even if he's found guilty. Rena Roy, ABC News, Miami.
The Federal Reserve meets this week to decide whether to raise interest rates again, as they're still trying to bring down inflation. But here's the problem. Most people aren't making much more than they were before the pandemic. We're all spending a lot more, though, on essentials like gas and groceries. At some point, you would think that people would simply stop buying things because the prices have gotten too high. New data from the Bank of America says the issue might be the generational gap. Bank of America says overall spending has dipped slightly compared to last year, but Gen X, Millennials, and Gen Z are cutting back a lot, while Bank of America says baby boomers are splurging on travel and leisure activities, and that is bringing up the overall average. Now, one factor that experts warn could cut into younger Americans' budgets even more: student loan payments. They've been on hold for years now because of the pandemic, but the Department of Education says those federal student loan payments will start coming due again in October, and interest will start accruing again in September. While we're still waiting on a decision from the Supreme Court about whether President Biden's student loan forgiveness program will be allowed to move forward. WSU is taking action to address a nearly $12 million athletic department budget deficit. The WSU Board of Regents has approved a $1.4 million transfer to help cover that nearly $12 million shortfall. The deficit caused in part by the Pac-12 and lower enrollment numbers. The university says the money will not come from tuition or state funds. That will come from interest earned. The Regents also approved an $84 million athletics budget for next year, and they gave the university president the green light to sign a new media rights deal with the Pac-12.
Now, KAPP KVEW First Alert Weather with Stacy Lee.
Yep, and we're just getting the last little bit of sunset and, well, a little bit of buggy going on, too, on our Legends Casino Columbia Point camera. Sunrise today, again, a nice, beautiful day. Our sunset to about 8:45 tonight. Days still getting longer as we head towards summer solstice. Temperatures right now around the area, 70s and 80s. We've dropped down below 90 finally in Tri-Cities. 85 right now in Yakima, 74 Walla Walla, 84 in Hermiston. And the good news is we'll start to see those temperatures dropping over the next couple of days. Now, we have been seeing active weather to the east, mainly in the Idaho Panhandle and east of Pendleton out on the I-84 area towards the Meacham area. So some lightning and thunder this evening in the southern Blue Mountains. Most of that, though, will dissipate and lighten up overnight. Again, we've had that same weather pattern with the ridge of low pressure and that wraparound moisture. And again, that moisture and activity coming from the south. Therefore, we've had the kind of, humid feeling out there. That's going to start going away. We're going to see the weather start to shift directions, and we'll start to see the winds coming in from the west to the east. So that'll get rid of some of the humidity we've been dealing with. Again, ridge of low pressure still sitting here. It's going to move it out of the way beginning tomorrow, and then we'll start to see those temperatures drop down as a cold front is getting ready to move into the region. This is what it looks like overnight on Futurecast. Again, a few stray showers still possible in the Blues, mainly in the southern Blue Mountains in Oregon. We shouldn't see too much activity near Walla Walla and Dayton. And again, we're still seeing that active weather to the north of Spokane and into the Canadian border. So we're keeping an eye on that. We have, again, a red flag warning. That means fire danger is very high. Humidity levels are dropping. It's very, very warm. And again, that's going to be in place from 11 tomorrow till 11 p.m. tomorrow evening. So fire danger remains high, too, so we want to be fire wise out there. And some of our safety tips, again, adhere to burn bans and warnings, properly discard of cigarettes or any type of burning materials, avoid power tools that can spark fires, and again, just try to be very fire wise. Now, we are tracking smoke in the area. Again, more Canadian fires are bringing that smoke. We're seeing some poor air quality in the Spokane area, and then you see the fire that just started burning just outside of between Yakima and Tri-Cities. Again, the winds are going to start shifting to the west, so the smoke shouldn't be a problem, but we've been dealing with some smoke and poor air quality in the Spokane area. Temperatures tonight, again, wind speeds right now, 8 miles an hour, 10 in Yakima, 19 in Ellensburg. We also have now a wind advisory that's going to be in place. We're going to see sustained winds 25 to 35 miles an hour and those gusts 50 to 55. So any fires that do start potentially tomorrow could get out of hand pretty quickly. Let's go ahead and take a look at our temperatures overnight tonight. Again, Futurecast winds. The gusty winds. Yes, here's when you'll see those get really rampant up tomorrow afternoon around 4 o'clock in the middle of the day, and those winds will continue, eventually dying down, as well as pollen forecast. That's going to be a problem for the next couple of days. Things things will start to get mild by the time we head into the weekend. Temperatures overnight were in the 40s and 50s for tomorrow. Again, lots of sunshine, another day of 90s, but those are going to be going away later in the week. Weather photos had the opportunity to enjoy Chinook Fest over the weekend, and here's a beautiful photo I snapped. Remember to grab those photos and send them to me, slee@kappkview.com. And the next couple of days, again, looking good. Temperatures down in the 80s, so more normal for this time of year, and we'll continue to see those temperatures stay nice and mild for the next couple of days. I'll get to the full 7-day forecast in just a little bit. Alyssa?
Thanks, Stacy. And up next on KAPP Local News, we're talking about the ongoing debate over paying for parking in downtown Yakima. What the city's decided coming up.
You know, when you're behind the wheel, be it in an airplane, car, or boat, you take on certain responsibility for yourself and for the other guy. So even when you're enjoying yourself this summer, keep safety and responsibility in mind.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ana Garcia, pediatrician with Astoria Health. The best time to establish care with a pediatrician is now. Kids don't come with instructions. Pediatricians, we're a great resource for helping keep your kids healthy and safe. I'm accepting new patients every day, and I would love to be able to be part of your life.
Go online to www.astria.health. Astria Health, always here.
Driving safely is all about the little things. Like giving folks a break, even at unmarked crosswalks. Making plenty of space for people riding. And choosing to wait for the next green light by slowing down and stopping on yellow. Because when you're the biggest and the fastest, you've got to be the safest, too. Together, we get there.
Hey, Snoop, wrong commercial. Let's go.
Where we going, Jack?
You'll see. Everyone gets to customize their munchie meal, but I'm giving you your very own.
I've been known to get the munchies from time to time.
And your own intern, Mitch.
What up, Miach?
Oh, Miach is what my grandma calls me.
And your very own.
Oh, no, I'm not wearing that.
Got it. Terrible idea, Mitch.
Build your own munchie meal, or try mine. Only at Jack in the Box.
That looks good on you, Miach.
Thanks, Mr. Dog.
I was scared the night you overdosed, but I was prepared. I brought naloxone with me. I learned when to use it. I learned how to use it. And I know you trusted me to use it. I held your hand tight when you woke up because I wanted you to feel safe. Your life is worth saving, friend, and I would save it again if I had to.
Now is the time for a new bath from Bathfitter. Every Bathfitter bath is installed quickly, safely, and beautifully with a lifetime warranty. Go from old to new, from worn to wow. The beautiful bath you've always wanted, done right, installed by one expert technician, all in one day. We've been creating moments like these for 35 years, and we're here to help you get started. Book your free virtual or in-home design consultation today.
You know, when you're behind the wheel, be it in an airplane, car, or boat, you take on certain responsibility for yourself and for the other guy. So even when you're enjoying yourself this summer, keep safety and responsibility in mind.
Portion of KAPP sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
Welcome back, everyone. The city of Yakima needs money to maintain the parking lots in the downtown area, but local businesses and community members have opposed changing the free parking spots over to ones that you have to pay for. Instead, a group of business owners has proposed their own plan to increase the percentage of monthly permit parking at 5 city-owned lots from 30% to 60% and to up the permit fee from $40 to $50 a month, all while holding on to those 2-hour free spaces downtown. Enforcement of the time limits has been a concern, but the police chief says that's about to change.
This is a great opportunity to tell the public we're going to be enforcing, so follow the limits. You're going to be getting citations.
Council members have asked the local business owners that came up with this plan to come back with an endorsement from the Downtown Association of Yakima Board in order to move forward with that proposal. We'll keep you updated. And we are tracking a large fire that ripped through more than 1,000 acres of Yakima County this afternoon as we're getting into a period of extreme fire danger. That's coming up, along with a look at your First Alert forecast in the next 10 minutes.
Portion of KAPP KVEW sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
With K2 Vision RLE, you can throw away your distance and reading glasses. Plus, you'll never develop a cataract. Schedule a free Zoom consultation with us today. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers.
Hey, check out the new Oreo Brookie Blizzard at DQ. Oreo pieces, brownie, and cookie. This treat is doing the most, which makes it the perfect treat for when you're doing, well, the least. Oh, this is nice. Oh, come on!
Hey, neighbor!
We were enjoying a moment with the Oreo Brookie Blizzard. Okay. This is more like it. Enjoy your Oreo Brookie Blizzard moment today. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
It's a celebration of Merlot this summer in Walla Walla, July 13th through the 15th. Join more than 50 Walla Walla wineries for Celebrate Walla Walla Valley Wine. Take part in special tastings of rare library wines, enjoy intimate winemaker dinners, and gain access to premium Merlots during the wine panel presentation and tasting. Participate in this full sensory experience from July 13th through the 15th. Tickets are on sale now at wallawallawine.com.
Life's better when you're under our roof. Because when you feel totally protected, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. Save up to 27% when you bundle home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
2024 Chevy Silverado HD with Duramax diesel. And the Chevy Silverado with powerful TurboMax engine. No matter what route you take, there's a Chevy truck to get you there. Find new roads. Get 1.9% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 LT TurboMax pickups, or get $4,250 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. See your community Chevy dealers.
You rip and tear your old statements and bills, but thieves use this information to steal your identity. Don't be a victim. Get the ID Police, the new ink roller that encrypts all your old documents. So before you throw it out, just roll it on, and your information is gone, both on the front and through the back. Even if the paper is held up to the light, even your medical information is safe with the ID Police. So block it out before you throw it out. Order now and get your ID Police for as low as $9.99 and get free shipping too. This offer is not available on Amazon, so call or click now to get your ID Police for as low as $9.99 with free shipping. Order now.
Call 1-800-268-7157. That's 1-800-268-7157, or visit getidpolice.com. So call 1-800-268-7157 now.
Rotting away in bed seems to be Gen Z's preferred methods of self-care. This study was written by Gen Zers.
Next live, Gabrielle Union and Jason Alexander.
Tomorrow morning at 9 on KAPP KVEW.
A health alert tonight. We are seeing scenes like this more and more in Washington, which is why the Department of Health has declared it Smoke Ready Week. They're encouraging everyone to get ready now so that you're prepared if the smoke comes back to our area. It could mean getting a new filter for your HVAC system. Make sure it says MERV 13, since that's the level you need to filter smoke out of the air. You could also invest in a portable air cleaner or even build your own with just a filter and a box fan. The Department of Health actually has instructions on how to do that.
I like that. A little homemade action. Why not?
It does work. I tried it at home last year.
That's right. Well, speaking of smoke, let's take a look at the map. I'm glad you brought that up. We are seeing a bit of smoke in our area again, mainly near Spokane. Canadian fires, and we have the northerly flow, so the wind's blowing from the north to the south, and that's going to continue to bring that smoke into the area. Hasn't impacted our air quality as of yet, and the good news is we're going to see a shift in the wind, so blowing all that smoke out. Be aware of that red flag warning in place tomorrow. Fire danger very, very high outside. We want to be safe out there. Also, wind advisory. It's going to be gusty, blustery day tomorrow, wind-wise, and then let's take a look at those temperatures. It's been a warm day, a little bit muggy in my opinion, but things are starting to look better. It's been a beautiful evening. Right now, 89 Tri-Cities, 85 in Yakima. Here's what's coming up again, mostly clear and warm for us tonight. Some isolated thunderstorms. We're seeing them tonight in the southern Blue Mountains. Dry, windy day tomorrow, so we want to be very fire-wise out there. I'll get to all of that in your first alert weather forecast.
All right, plus coming up, an urgent plea for help from the Tri-Cities Animal Shelter. We're talking about the temporary change that they're making to try and make pet adoption more feasible for families. KAPP Local News continues right now. Part of the main interstate running along the East Coast collapsed in Pennsylvania over the weekend after a fiery crash. Take a look at this. Pennsylvania State Police found one body in the wreckage. Right now, though, the focus is mostly on cleanup and repair. Now, for comparison, this is similar to the impact that we would see if part of I-5 in the Tacoma or Portland area were this badly damaged. And ABC's Lindsay Watts reports the economic impact of the crash could linger for months.
Oh boy.
One of the nation's busiest interstates bursting into an inferno in Philadelphia Sunday morning. Dramatic images capturing the terrifying moments for drivers before the collapse, the highway erupting into flames.
95 was collapsing. I drove over it and it was collapsing.
According to authorities, a tanker truck hauling hundreds of gallons of gasoline crashed while navigating a curve on I-95. The truck landed on its side, rupturing the tank and causing the massive fire.
I-95 stretches from Maine to Miami. I dare you to find a more densely populated 40 or 50 mile area around 95 than right here where we're standing.
State officials say demolition of the destroyed section of I-95 will happen in the coming days, and rebuilding the highway will begin soon after. Still, repairs are expected to take several months, and the impact will be felt up and down the entire East Coast.
This is not just about commutes, this is also about supply chains, about 150,000 vehicles a day.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says his agency, along with state and local authorities, will coordinate their efforts to resume traffic on the highway for tens of thousands of motorists as quickly as possible.
It's just crazy how this can affect everyday life as much as it is. I mean, just look around all the cars.
While state police have not identified the body that was found in the wreckage, family of the tanker truck driver say he is the victim, identifying him tonight as Nathaniel Moody. Lindsay Watts, ABC News, Philadelphia.
Now here in Washington, work at the Port of Seattle is grinding a lot slower. The Pacific Maritime Association says work there has effectively stopped. They're blaming the members of the International Longshore and Warehouse Union. The issue here is contract negotiations. The Seattle Times reports dock workers and operators have been trying to work out a new contract since May of last year. And the Port of Seattle commissioner says longshoremen are working about half as fast as normal right now. It's not technically a strike, but we have already seen what happens when container ships start sitting in the harbor waiting to be unloaded. So we'll continue to track this developing news and bring you updates as we get them. And we continue to track that fast-moving fire in Yakima County, southwest of Mabton this afternoon. A brush fire burned around 1,200 acres, according to Yakima County Fire District 5. You might have seen the smoke. Crews from all over Yakima County raced to try to get those flames under control, and it's not yet clear how this fire started. A smaller wildfire burning near the Wild Horse Monument was visible along I-90 in Grant County. The Grant County Sheriff's Office says the flames there only burned about 50 acres and they didn't threaten any buildings. The fire is burning away from I-90 as of tonight. Travelers should still be aware of emergency response vehicles possibly in the area, though. And we are talking about smoke tonight. Stacey Lee joins us live with your first alert weather forecast.
That's right. Let's take a look at Skycam. Yes, the sun has gone down. Temperatures are still pretty warm this evening, however, but a beautiful sunset with a few clouds hanging around on our Legends Casino tower cam tonight. Right now 89 in Tri-Cities, 85 in Yakima, 74 in Walla Walla, 72 in Cle Elum. Been talking about that red flag warning officially kicks in tomorrow from 11 to 11. Again, low humidity, very dry conditions, and again, fire danger extremely high in eastern Oregon and Washington. So we want to be safe and be thinking fire-wise activities. We also have a high wind warning in place as well tomorrow in the same locations. Again, gusty winds. We could see winds anywhere from 50 to 55 miles an hour. So again, be very fire-wise. Any fires that do start would spread rapidly. How are we cooling down this evening? Well, we'll be down to 72 degrees by midnight in Tri-Cities, down to 74. So still a pretty warm night out there, not too bad. And we'll drop down into the 60s by midnight in Walla Walla. I'll get to all the details in the first alert weather forecast on the way. Alyssa?
Thanks, Stacy. A power company in Oregon will be held responsible for devastating fires that happened during Labor Day of 2020. A jury ruled today that Pacific should be financially liable for homes and property impacted by the fires. It could add up to more than $1 billion. Now, while the fire's cause hasn't officially been determined, a class action lawsuit accused Pacific of negligence, saying they didn't shut off power despite extreme wind warnings on Labor Day of 2020. The utility company says they are planning to appeal the jury's decision. In Iowa, the owner of this apartment building, which partially collapsed more than 2 weeks ago, killing 3 people, pleaded guilty to not maintaining safe conditions. Now, that plea means the owner will have to pay a $300 fine and court costs. But one former resident of the building is already suing him in a separate case. And crews began work today to demolish what is left of the apartment building. That process is expected to take weeks. Right now around the state and the country, there are more animals in shelters than there is space for them. That's why the Tri-Cities Animal Shelter, or TCAS, dropped its adoption fee to a flat $50 rate for all animals. Now that fee includes all of their shots, microchips, spay or neuter surgeries, and the healing that follows the operation. The volunteer coordinator with TCAS says right now there are 47 dogs and 114 cats at the shelter looking for new homes. If you're interested, the Tri-Cities Animal Shelter opens up at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
You would just come in Tuesday through Saturday. If you have a dog of your own, you would want to bring them for a meet and greet. And there's a couple pieces of paper they sign. We ask that they bring a leash or a crate for the cats. And as long as they're altered, they would go home with them that day.
Now we have to mention, while the shelter dropped their adoption fee, it doesn't mean that pets are cheap. They can still come with medical fees, but the goal, TCAS says, is to get all of these animals into good homes. A landmark decision by the Washington Supreme Court overturned a state law on drug possession. It means people who were convicted under that law could get back the money they paid while going through the court system. Matt Smith has a look at a new fund that is expected to pay out millions of dollars.
To date, a little over $8 million has been paid by the municipal, district, and superior courts on LFO refunds.
As Robin Zimmerman explains, courts have been on the front lines of the fix for the Blake decision the past 2 years. But with an estimated 300,000 past convictions, the legislature, through a series of bills, created, then funded an all-new bureau meant to spearhead returning millions of dollars in cash to past convicts whose crimes never should have been on the books.
Yes, we don't want people sitting in prison longer than they should be if they've got this unconstitutional conviction.
Courts were busy outside of the money issue. After all, as Skagit County Superior Judge Laura Rakelmy explains, they've been hit with a barrage of cases where people were sitting behind bars. And that's separate from the cash question.
There wasn't even a way to figure out how many people were going to be impacted by it, but we knew it was a lot.
Since then, we're told individuals being held on Blake and Blake-only charges have been let go. Now the focus of reimbursing or refunding fees tied to the unconstitutional law is moving into overdrive, which brings us back to the Blake Refund Bureau. The work will happen here, inside the administrative office of the courts. Staff here will work with roughly $50 million allocated by Olympia's legislatures to put money back in the hands of those who paid it out. Refund requests will be submitted online in a soon-to-launch portal.
So for individuals that are curious if this impacts them, right? If they want to talk to someone, if they know they have a Blake-related conviction, they can go to the courts where the conviction was issued, or if they don't want to go that route yet, they can talk to Office of Public Defense has a designated Blake hotline. This is historic. To our knowledge, and this is setting a precedent. There aren't any other related cases of a state issuing hundreds of thousands of vacations and refunds at one time.
That was Matt Smith reporting. Now, the Washington legislature has earmarked $47 million for operations and another $50 million for refunds linked to the Blake ruling. A consumer alert tonight. The FTC is reportedly planning to sue to block Microsoft from buying Activision Blizzard. That's a video game company. If the deal goes through, it would make Microsoft the third biggest video game publisher in the world and the owner of franchises like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Candy Crush. Regulators in the U.S. and in the U.K. say that deal would impact competitions. They're worried that Microsoft could decide to block popular games from competitor systems like the Sony PlayStation. And a controversial new golf partnership is drawing attention from Congress. The Senate is investigating the partnership between the PGA Tour and the LIV Golf Series. The PGA is based here in the U.S. LIV Golf is backed by Saudi Arabia. Opponents have pointed out Saudi Arabia has a terrible human rights record. They're saying that letting the Saudis fund a golf organization is sports washing. Senators are now calling for information about how these two organizations that were bitter rivals up until about a week ago suddenly became partners. Here in our area, we are talking about some beautiful golf weather. Taking a live look outside, we're talking about that sunset. Big changes on the way, though, in the next 24 hours. That includes high fire danger. Stacey Lee has the details coming up in your First Alert forecast. And still ahead on this special edition of KAPP KVEW Local News, we're talking about some devastating flash floods impacting communities on the eastern border of the state. We'll be right back.
TriQ Credit Union C3 Slam comes to Richland July 8th and 9th at John Dam Plaza.
Shelter. Out here, it's the most important thing. But the good thing is, my Ford F-150 provides enough power to keep working.
Get a great deal on an F-150, only at your local Ford dealer.
Hi, I'm Eddie Morphine from Morphine Law Firm. If you've been wronged and you need to make it right, give us a call. We're not afraid to fight. If you need an attorney with your best interests in mind, give us a call at Morphine Law Firm.
Here's to the dads, dadas, and daddy-os. They deserve the big daddy of all Father's Day treats, a DQ cake. With layers of creamy, world-famous soft serve, and a delicious fudge and crunch center. Conveniently customizable and ready for pickup from the DQ freezer. So grab yours. And let's raise our red spoons to the world's #1 dad. Hi, Dad. DQ. Happy tastes good.
At Good Shepherd, it is not just a job. It is our mission. A mission to improve the health of our community. To give you our hearts, our minds, our compassion, the best technology available, and the greatest medicine of all, kindness. Thank you for trusting us with your care.
Who did you let down today? Your wife? Your kids? Well, how about yourself? Take a look in the mirror. If you're tired of your drug and alcohol problem, you need to fix the problem, and right now, before you hurt or kill yourself, or worse yet, somebody else. Call the addiction specialist now at the Reset Addiction Treatment Helpline. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll find you the right treatment regardless of your financial situation. When you call right now, you'll speak to a recovering addict who understands what you're going through right now. Let us help you break your addiction to drug and alcohol before it's too late. This call is completely confidential and free. So take 5 minutes of your time and call us right now. We're here answering the phone. I promise it'll change your life.
Call 800-795-1262. That's 800-795-1262. Again, 800-795-1262.
The Shining Star Pageant Board is being honored
with a $1,000 donation from STCU.
The joy that the girls show and the confidence that it gives them, they just sparkle.
It's magical to see them, you know, out there talking on stage. She wanted a pageant that she could participate in.
Every girl that comes here leaves with a smile.
STCU's Volunteers Count honors volunteers in our communities. Please tell us a story of someone you believe is making an impact.
That sound. Wolves. Boy, they sound hungry.
Load up, wolves!
Good thing this Ford Explorer has Sync 3 technology. Keeps them entertained on the way to dinner.
Get a great deal on an Explorer, only at your local Ford dealer.
Welcome back. We got some bursts of rain in parts of our area on Friday afternoon as expected, but nothing like this. Take a look. Rain in Lewiston, which is right there on the Washington-Idaho border, fell so fast on Friday it triggered flash floods. One woman says that rain actually sent several feet of water inside her apartment.
4 foot underwater. I'm only 5'4", so it was kind of like a Titanic scene. 3-4 minutes. Place was 4 foot underwater, so all I could think was to get the dogs, the cats, and my previous dog, his remains, out of there. That is the only time I had. I'm a little shooken up and sad because I do have an upcoming wedding, and some of my wedding stuff as far as the bouquet and my wedding boots are being soaked.
Well, after a few hours, the floodwaters dissipated, but that cleanup is likely to take weeks. Late spring and summer means very hot weather across eastern Washington. We're experiencing that tonight. This is an opportunity, though, to talk about the risk associated with heat stroke. The CDC says 700 people die every year from heat-related illness. More than 67,000 rush to emergency rooms on average due to the heat. It can make anybody sick, but people 65 and older or people with blood pressure issues, those who work outside, are still the most susceptible. Symptoms of heat exhaustion include things like heavy sweating, strangely cold, pale, or clammy skin, and a fast but weak pulse.
Waking up a little bit earlier to enjoy the sunrise and maybe spending more time outside over the sunset, because those moments of less extreme heat can allow us to be outside enjoying fresh air, but also being safe.
Some of the other medical issues to watch for in the heat are heat stroke and heat cramp. Now, the obvious answer, when it's really hot, get out of the heat if you can, and always take measures to cool down. Now, here's one piece of good news as we get towards the official first day of summer. California's reservoirs are filling up. After a snowy, rainy winter and spring, Lake Oroville, that you're seeing here, is officially at capacity. Lake Shasta, which is the biggest reservoir in California, is at 97% capacity at last check.
Now, KAPP First Alert Weather with Stacy Lee.
And speaking of the heat, nice warm evening out there. Look at that. We're still at 89 degrees right now in Tri-City, 73 in Walla Walla. It's 87 in Toppenish, 77 in Ellensburg. So those warm temperatures, well, we have another day of them. And we've been tracking some storms here in the southern Blue Mountains in Oregon tonight. Again, a little bit of lightning activity there. That should be tapering off and moving out of the area. There's a very slight chance of it tomorrow. Again, the weather pattern is the same thing. That ridge of low pressure creating that wraparound moisture, bringing up that moist air from the south, therefore making it feel very humid. Now, the weather pattern's about to change. We'll start to see the winds coming in off of the coast, so that will get rid of a lot of that humidity over the next couple of days. However, we are going to start to see those breezy and gusty winds, that ridge of low pressure right there. And again, most of our active weather to the south and east of Washington state. So again, nice and clear out on the coast. Here's our future cast. Again, looking pretty clear tonight. A few clouds passing through, and again, a few stray showers right there in the Oregon-Washington border in the Blue Mountains. Mainly going to see the activity in Pendleton. Once that moves out on Wednesday, look for a beautiful day. Again, a few high clouds, but nice weather on the way and much cooler temperatures. Now, we do have several active warnings going on, including this red flag warning in our region. That's going to be in place till 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Again, fire danger remains very high in eastern Washington and Oregon. And again, we want to be very fire-wise out there the next couple of days. Here's your wildlife Safety tips, again, you guys want to take it easy. Keep vehicles off dry vegetation. Avoid power tools that can spark fires. Obey orders from local officials. And again, if you are going to be heading out into the wilderness, never leave campfires unattended. We want to be safe out there. Now, we are tracking some smoke. We've been seeing it coming down from the fires in Canada and the Spokane area at Idaho Panhandle, and most of it has remained there. And again, if you can see the wind barbs, we have that northerly flow, so the wind's blowing from the north. Now, the good news is that's going to shift moving into tomorrow. We'll have winds coming from the east, which should keep most of that smoke out of the area. However, there is a wind advisory tomorrow. We're going to see sustained winds 25 to 35 miles an hour and gusts 50 to 55 miles an hour, the area in blue. So we're talking the Kittitas Valley, down the Columbia River Gorge, Columbia Basin, and the foothills of the Blues. That's where we're expecting most of the wind activity for tomorrow. So again, any fires that are sparked could move along pretty quickly and be difficult to fight. Here's our futurecast winds. Again, you'll see those winds really start to pick up around 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon through the Columbia River Gorge, the Basin, Kittitas Valley, and the Yakima Valley. The good news is those winds will decrease getting into Wednesday. Still a little breezy though in the Columbia Basin. Now, when we have the winds, it blows all the pollen around, so those pollen counts are climbing up for the next couple of days. Should start to taper off by the time we head into the weekend. Overnight lows tonight again in the 40s and 50s, 51 Tri-Cities, 44 Yakima, 50 overnight in Walla Walla. For tomorrow, again, lots of sunshine, those strong gusty winds, another day in the 90s in the Columbia Basin anyway, and then we'll start to see those temperatures get more to the normal range, which is into the 90s. Weather photos, I got to show one off. I took a great photo at Chinook Fest out on Chinook Pass this weekend. It was beautiful. Remember to snap your photos. Send them to me, slee@KVEW.com. Next 3 days, again, a short-term forecast looking good. Those temperatures cooling down, and we'll see that as well in Yakima. We'll get to that 7-day planning forecast before the end of the show. Alyssa?
Thanks, Stacey. And tonight we're breaking down a new study with a new angle on the health impacts of alcohol. That's next on KAPP Local News.
Time for a new roof? Let M&M Roofing replace it with the product so good you'll never have to replace it again. All roofs come with the limited lifetime warranty. Never replace your roof again.
With the heat and wind comes roof damage. Don't wait till it's an emergency. Call today to receive 0% financing on approved credit.
So if it's time for a new roof or siding, let M&M Roofing replace it with our certified installers.
Because when it's all said and done, this is the sign you'll want in your yard.
Hey, check out the new Oreo Brookie Blizzard at DQ. Oreo pieces, brownie, and cookie. This treat is doing the most, which makes it the perfect treat for when you're doing, well, the least. Oh, this is nice. Oh, come on!
Hey, neighbor!
We were enjoying a moment with the Oreo Brookie Blizzard. Okay. This is more like it. Enjoy your Oreo Brookie Blizzard moment today. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
It's so hard to sleep when it's hot, impossible to work, and even uncomfortable to relax. You need a fan, but they're bulky, awkward, and never put the breeze exactly where you want it. Introducing my Fold-Away Fan from Bell & Howell, the compact cordless fan that unfolds into your own personal wind machine and extends to nearly 4 feet high. Amazing! Forget plug-in fans that never reach. This rechargeable lithium-powered fan goes anywhere you need it with a charge that lasts up to 10 hours. And oh yeah, it has power, enough to blast a breeze to the other side of this room. Now that's some wind. At an ultra lightweight of less than 2 pounds, it's easier than ever to have a personal targeted breeze inside or outside in just seconds. Plus, this whisper quiet fan has 3 separate speeds, so set it on low to stay cool while watching TV, or use it on the patio to battle the summer heat. Crank it up to high for a refreshing breeze in the kitchen. And it's so portable. Use it to chill down outdoor activities like gardening, fishing, or even camping trips. Plus, with a unique telescoping stand, you can place it on the floor so the breeze will easily reach atop the bed, across the top of the dinner table, or even over your work desk at the office. Then the whole thing folds away for easy storage. There's never been another fan like it.
I've never seen anything like this. It's so compact and it magically unfolds into a full-sized fan.
It's portable and rechargeable. I can take it anywhere.
Other fans sell for over $100 and they're not rechargeable. But get my fold-away fan from Bell & Howell for just 2 payments of $19.99. It comes with the USB cable to make charging fast and easy, plus our 90-day warranty. My fold-away fan, the ultra-portable, compact, and rechargeable fan that will keep you cool anywhere. Call or click now.
To order, call 1-800-349-4196 or go to myfoldawayfan.com. That's 1-800-349-4196, or you can order online at myfoldawayfan.com. Order now.
Portion of KAPP KVEW sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
Trending tonight, another study weighing in on whether or not alcohol has health benefits. Now remember, earlier this year, a scientific overview found there was no health benefit from drinking. But tonight, a new study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology says people who have a couple of drinks have reduced stress responses in the brain, which could lower your risk of a stroke. But the researchers also pointed out drinking could raise your risk of cancer at the same time. So maybe finding a different way to manage your stress, probably a good idea here. Maybe get outside and take a walk. We're going to have a final look at your First Alert weather forecast when we come back.
KFC's Wednesday Country Fried Steak Meal is a delicious value, complete with mashed potatoes with gravy, coleslaw, and a biscuit, all for the incredible price of just $5.99. Really, what's left to say? How about see you again next Wednesday? Country Fried Steak Meal, just $5.99, only at KFC.
I was scared the night you overdosed, but I was prepared. I brought naloxone with me. I learned when to use it. I learned how to use it. And I know you trusted me to use it. I held your hand tight when you woke up because I wanted you to feel safe. Your life is worth saving, friend, and I would save it again if I had to.
Your son is right here. Can you please stand up?
From the hit television series on E! Entertainment.
He just said to me, "That's my mother. I just saw him lean down and kiss you."
Meet Matt Frazier, America's top psychic medium, for a special evening of live psychic readings.
He says to me that here in this world, you are always on him and on him and on him and on him.
For more event and ticket information,
I really hope this helps you.
and to meet Matt Frazier, visit meetmattfrazier.com. Matt Frazier, America's top psychic medium.
I'm Richard Karn, and I love my hose. It ain't those old hoses. This is my hose. The new Pocket Hose Copper Bullet, now infused with real copper, so your water is always clean and lead-free. Just turn on the water and watch your hose grow and grow. And when you turn off the water, away it goes. Our new inner tube uses 3 layers of high-strength latex on the inside. Then it's wrapped in a new polymer filament jacket, 3 times stronger than the other hoses, and I love the oversized, easy-to-grip fittings. Get the super light 25-foot Pocket Hose Copper Bullet today for only $29.99. But wait, call now and get our Turbo Shot adjustable nozzle, absolutely free. This is an exclusive advanced release of our 2024 edition Pocket Hose. Order now.
Call 1-800-616-7249 or visit copperbullethose.com. So call 1-800-616-7249 now.
I was born and raised in Prosser, and I opened my first checking account at Yakima Federal right after I graduated. I honestly couldn't continue keeping money under my bed. My parents actually have never built credit. They've worked in agriculture for many years. I wanted to build credit. Yakima Federal feels like a small community. I love the fact that they offer scholarships. That way people can start their new careers. My name is Alejandro, and I've been a Yakima Federal customer for a little over 10 years.
I remember when you get a whole meal for $5.
Yeah, it was last Tuesday.
Oh.
And every Tuesday at A&W, where single Papa Burger combos complete with fries and a root beer cost just $5. The good old days are here again. A complete meal for just $5. Tuesdays only at A&W.
Portion of KAPP KVEW sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
Welcome back. Very quickly, check this out. Zookeepers at the Oregon Zoo have trained a sea otter to dunk a basketball. Now, it's a cute stunt, but they say it's actually to keep her joints limber and strong.
Maybe get recruited by the Denver Nuggets, right?
You know, new champions.
There you have it. All right, one final look at our weather. Let's take a look at that 7-day planning forecast. Wild temperatures all over the map. Look at that, Alyssa. Look at Father's Day. Going to be kind of chilly and cloudy, and again, those windy conditions. 90s are gone after tomorrow, and again, we get into like a cooler week. Going to see some gusty winds in Yakima for a few days, but look at those temperatures dropping down to to the 60s and overnight lows in the 40s. So we go from really hot to really cool all of a sudden.
Gonna need those jackets again.
That's right.
Thanks so much for watching. We're back tonight at 11.